When people agree to share their oral histories for historical preservation, they don't often get a chance to recapture the experience, except here, one-on-one. Gitel Ruiz-Nicholas retraces the journey from Haitian to African American culture and the shifts in identity. She moved to Brooklyn at 11, but spent growing up years going back and forth to her first home.
Both my mom and dad, they came here in 1963. We had an incident. It was under the Papadot regime. I was 7 years old. My other sisters, Kathy was I was 7, Kathy was 6, and Carly was 5. So from that point on, I became almost like a little mother. We spent 5 years in boarding school. It was beautiful years. I have to say we were very fortunate because the boarding school where my parents left me was my mother's godmother. So rather than being like most of the boarding school students, we stayed in their homes.
I think one of the things that really bothers African Americans to a large degree, and we envy, people who have this tie to a homeland, who feel this connection that you have roots in a place when so many of us don't, or even if we know of a place, we don't necessarily identify with it. It's just a name on the map.
Despite all of the problems, you see a lot in the media, the ugliness, the poverty. And I can tell you that although I've been here almost 40 years, when I want to relax and think of a place, I still go back to a picture on the beach in Haiti. Mm-hmm. It's amazing. The friction, I think it's because we're looking at the differences. Because I do recall being 11 years old, as an adolescent, it's very different. My parents would dress me pretty much as if they would if I were in Haiti. Big bows in my hair. I would go to school rather than wearing jeans. I have to wear a dress. We were not allowed to wear sneakers. So obviously you really were very different. And they developed a name for many of us who came from Haiti, Frenchies. I have to tell you, if anyone were to ask me, I am American. Because the natives, even when I go home, they don't look at me as a native. So you learn to develop your own style because you really don't fit into the mold of being a Haitian, and you don't fit into the mold of being an American. So I'm just Gitel.
And I guess we always all have these moments or these encounters or these incidents when we recognize that a shift has occurred.
I remember maybe back in the mid-80s, 83, 84, I came to a conference in Florida. Being in New York, my nationality, my race really never truly became an issue for me. It's interesting. I never thought of me as a black female or a Haitian female. Simply, I think we were surrounded by a diverse group of friends, co-workers, student colleagues in school. So it was never, I knew it existed because of the history of America, but I never really felt it. Coming here was really an eye-opener for me. I think
you mean here to South Florida,
to
right?
South Florida. From the standpoint, it was really when my race was the identifying factor. With the growing number of Haitians coming in, people did not understand them. Obviously, they looked different, they spoke differently. I would hear all kind of derogatory comments. And at one point, I had a brother of mine who had a car accident, so we rushed to the hospital to really find out how he was doing. And I was very surprised when they did not ask me, what is his name? They asked me, what is his race? Is he black or white?
Yes.
that really was a defining moment for me, that I am living in an environment where your race is really what, at least it was what defined you at that particular time.
And I think that what's interesting there is a lot of people, West Indians, if you will, people coming from the islands, have that kind of wall, if you will, when it comes to this discussion of race, because it is such a different perspective when you come to the States. And I guess I can see that to some degree. Perhaps it's self-protective. The longer I can put off not having to deal with that, the better off I am. But then as I talk to people, you know, it's almost invariably you're forced to deal with it. Race really is sort of defined in essence by discrimination. It's by experiencing that process of discrimination is
Absolutely.
what affirms race.
From being defined, what is his color? Is he black or white at the hospital? I started to work on really working with the African American grassroots community at the Urban League of Warwick County. You quickly become sensitized to the history that you had not experienced. I believe I identify myself mostly with being an African American female.
Very often that's what happens. People sort of do that dance between ethnicity and race, you know, in terms of what they're going to hold on to. But I see them as being intertwined, really, and you can't really escape, and just semantics in a way, right? The scholars can debate it, but in large part, even if you start out with ethnicity, race ends up being an issue eventually because of color differences,
Absolutely.
whether you're Hispanic or from some other Caribbean island or whatever. People of different color, different shades have often different experiences, especially in the United States.